Now, look, I want to ask you about this other big story on the front page of the paper today. Military commanders are warning that our troops are at risk because the Australian Army has no unmanned drones. Ben Packerman reports that even Yemen's Houthi rebels have an array of these killer drone systems. The ADF has none. Michael, this is embarrassing when the Houthi rebels have more advanced technology than Australia.
Look, it is embarrassing. We just saw an unmanned drone kill 3 Americans in Jordan yesterday. Drones are the weapons of the future. They carry bombs and often they can't be detected if they fly extremely low to the ground. So what we've got is a brilliant army who distinguished themselves in Iraq and Afghanistan, our soldiers. But in terms of the nuffs that sit in Army headquarters in Canberra, we've got a lot of tanks, which we haven't used in battle. I think I heard Greg Sheridan say since the Vietnam War, which was, I think, a while ago, the Vietnam War. We have some surveillance drones, but we have no drones that have missiles, bombs or any weaponry. And this is not serious. I mean, we couldn't send a ship to the Middle East to support the Americans and the British against the Houthis.
Such an embarrassment.
I mean, well, it's an embarrassment, Sharri. I mean, look, we're becoming a laughing stock. And just think of those Australian men and women, right, who've gone into battle and their families in Iraq, Afghanistan and other peacekeeping places, but particularly in Iraq and Afghanistan, where Australian lives were lost and their families are sort of obviously still grieving. They must look at the state of the Australian weaponry and think, are these people in Canberra serious? So the fact that we've got no drones that can carry out bombing missions, missile missions is, as you say, a huge embarrassment to Australia. And what are the Americans and the British and everyone else looking at Australia? They're thinking, that mob down there a joke. I mean, seriously, tanks, for goodness sake.
Yeah. Foreign policy experts are warning that this is the most volatile and dangerous time since World War II, and we're just so behind despite the threat of China, not to mention everything else being right on our doorstep. Now, let's go to some breaking news this evening. A senior advisor to the Prime Minister has been moved out of the PM's office after he attended a Nikki Haley rally. This advisor, Zach Drury, senior advisor, he took a selfie with the Republican candidate. He wore an I Pick Nikki badge. This is just earlier this month. And the Australian now reporting that he's been moved out of Albanese's office into the Finance Minister Katie Gallagher's office. James, this seems very petty to demote someone because they dared to support a Republican candidate.
Well, yeah, I mean, they weren't even supporting a Republican candidate here. This was an act of political tourism, right? Okay, they're young guys. This guy was a young guy, interested, fascinated with politics. He's in America. There's a Nikki Haley rally going on. Of course he's going to go. And of course he's going to, get involved with it and just, have a bit of fun with it. It's not like he's out there campaigning for the Republican. And that's also, even to say that Nikki Haley is hardly the most sort of right-wing, candidate out there for the Republicans, not by a long shot. So this just seems, as you say, incredibly petty. This was a bit of political tourism by a young person. And you know what? I'm sorry. Young people, anybody who's out and there's an election going on, have a look at it. See what's going on. See how other countries do this sort of thing. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, you know what? Albanese could learn a thing or two from Nikki Haley, seeing as she is the last one standing. She might not quite be giving Trump a run for his money, but she is doing much better than Albanese is on the campaign trail, that's for sure.